appreciate this being an investor conference, so I have to apologize beforehand, because this is not really going to be a sales pitch, and I'm not asking for money at the end of it, so please bear with me. Actually, this is the first time ever that we speak about Block Collider. That's the first time ever that we are presenting on any stage in the world, because this conference here in St. Moritz actually coincides with our public launch, with the launch of our mainnet, which will happen in February. So what we do, or basically what you know, I think, are those coins that are presented there, right? You have heard of Bitcoin, you've heard of Ethereum, and you maybe have also heard of Neo, and of Ripple, and of Stellar, and of Litecoin, of all these coins, because otherwise you wouldn't be here, right? And if you look them up on CoinMarketCap, then you see that these are really the higher ups when it comes to market capitalization. So you may think from a bird's eye perspective that this is just as any other token. This is maybe like Etherisk or like Blue Note or like YourCoin. But in reality, these tokens that you see there are the backbone of the tech infrastructure, are the backbone of the infrastructure stack that other projects such as Etherisk and the others that we've seen are then building upon. So the first thing that you have to do if you come up with a blockchain project is to decide which infrastructure you want to build on. Because as you can see, these are walled gardens, and once you've decided to build on Ethereum, it's pretty hard to switch. And yeah, that's not only an issue if you're a developer, because most of you might be investors, and so you think, well, I only want to invest, I only want to trade tokens, so I don't care about these infrastructures that are behind. But if you think about it, you may not only want to trade tokens that are living on Ethereum, but you also want to trade those tokens with tokens that are living on Neo, right? So you are actually having the same issue. And the only way to go about that is to use centralized exchanges. And I don't know, maybe some of you have had the same experience that I had already a couple of times, that these centralized exchanges get hacked every now and then. And when that happens, well, people aren't really happy. So what we do with Block Collider is really taking a step at that walled garden infrastructure of having multiple blockchains. And what we want to be, or what we are actually already, is the Tetris player of the blockchain world. So if you think of Tetris, then you think of all these blocks that are falling from top to bottom, right? And if you play Tetris, then you are tasked with putting these blocks into a single row without any air gaps in between, without any blank spaces in between. And as a reward, once you've actually managed to do that, to assemble all these blocks that are falling from top to bottom, you get as a reward the wipe off or the wipe out of that single line that you've built. And then you can continue playing because the blocks don't start piling up more and more and more. With Block Collider, we do something very similar by taking the last block of each of the chains that we work with, that we interoperate in, and we put them together in a continuous string. And that continuous string then allows you, for example, to trigger a Bitcoin transaction by using an Ethereum smart contract. So if you think about that, this is quite remarkable, because you don't need to go to Kraken, and I apologize for the Kraken guys in the room, to actually trade Bitcoin with a fast processing time, because you can do that without this intermediary, without this intermediating third party. The team behind Block Collider exclusively consists of core developers, which I think is worth noting, because we want to put our money where our mouth is in terms of adoption. So we think we came up with a very nice solution, but we want to put it out there to the world to use it, and if the world doesn't use it, then we will go back to our coding basement and we'll reiterate on things, and then maybe the world will use it, which we hope to see. So we are not one of those teams that goes around doing roadshows, doing marketing for half a year, spending a couple of 100K in order to get the word out, because we want to get the product out. As I said, this is the first time that we ever speak about Block Collider on a public stage anywhere in the world, and that coincides with our launch. Our launch will be in February. We haven't set the fixed date yet, but it will be in February. And we will start with 5 chains that you can then interoperate in between. Those 5 chains you can see there: Counterparty, Ethereum, Waves, Neo, and Lisk. There will be a 6th chain that is hidden, because we don't want to trigger all the animal spirits and all the animal behavior, so we keep it hidden. More importantly, we're going to add more chains as we progress. So by the end of the year, we will actually have a nice roster of different chains that you can then use. And what we do in parallel is already building products on top of these. So for example, decentralized exchanges, hedge functions that are self-enforcing, and these sort of things. So again, thank you very much for bearing with me, for not asking for money, and I hope you enjoyed it nevertheless. Thank you.